Well, I'm on my way to Dublin Triumph and Dublin Harley-Davidson, same place. They sell Triumphs, Ducatis and Harley-Davidson. So I'm off to test drive the Pan America. So Derek, the salesman there, has kindly offered me a test drive. Would I swap the Triumph Tiger for it? I don't know, that's the whole point of a test drive. But there's nothing on paper at this moment in time that would make me think I wouldn't. The one glaringly obvious thing is chain drive. And if you ever watched my test ride of the Tiger before I bought it, I went up the Wicklow Mountains on in December it was, and I was mentioning the shaft drive, and I said, look, I don't mind chains. Chains don't bother me that much. So the chain drive on the Pan America wouldn't upset me really. It really, you know, modern chains squirt the old lubricant every now and then. They're only a pain in the ass if you get anal about them and want them bloody shiny, you know. I don't know why some people would clean the crap out of chains. Maybe it's therapy or something, I don't know. But anyway, so I don't mind the chain. That wouldn't bother me. The looks, well, looks are subjective, I guess. That front end is a bit awkward. But I've seen the bike in the flesh a couple of times. I've been up there, and I don't know, maybe it's me. Maybe I like something that's a bit awkward. Maybe that's why I didn't buy a GS and I've got a Tiger. Because if you looked at a Multistrada or a V4S Multistrada, the new one, oh my god, it looks $1 million. It looks like a beautifully crafted bike. But I wouldn't want that bike for other reasons. The GS, it's very Teutonic. It just doesn't do it for me. So on the face of it, I don't mind the look. I don't mind the look of the Pan America. But what I like about the Tiger, even though it's 1200, it's a nimble sort of bike. It's a nimble big bike, if you know what I mean. And that's what I'd want out the Pan America. I wouldn't want some lumbering thing, and there's no reason to suggest that it is either. But again, look, that's the whole point of a test drive. So I wonder who the Pan America, who is its target audience? Look, it's not going to be 20 or 30 year olds, I doubt. And you get the impression, look, there's a distinct lack of super high tech on it. Like, there's no bloody adaptive cruise control and blind spot and all that sort of stuff. I'm just wondering if the type of person that was going to buy that bike anyway actually is bothered about that stuff. Like, I wouldn't be. I don't need adaptive cruise control. I know you can say I don't need ABS and I don't need traction control and all that sort of stuff, but they're things I actually do want on a bike. But the thought of buying a €30,000 GSA with all the radar stuff on it and God knows what, and owning that bike when the warranty ran out would fill me with dread. It would absolutely fill me with dread. Now, I know there's a lot of technology on the Harley, but that bike's been a long time coming. I've got this feeling that they're going to have this whole bike well sorted, because if they'd released it and it was a pile of shite, there would have been so much derision and I told you so and all that sort of stuff. And I reckon the launch has taken so long because Harley have been perfecting that bike as much as they can. And maybe they've done it. We'll see. Well, I'm never going to know that, am I? I'm on a test drive for an hour. Or maybe two if I can squeeze a second hour out of it, eh? So here we are. Hello, that looks like a Pan America there. Oh, two Pan Americas. I wonder which I'll get for the test ride. They look well. Two different exhausts. Okay, Screaming the Eagle titanium on one. And a stock on the other. Oh, I don't mind the stock. It doesn't look that bad. Well, the first thing that grabs you, the seat in the high position. I can flat foot, and I'm quite short-legged. I'm a 29-inch leg, and I tried the seat in a low position, and the seat to peg ratio was very good, actually. Not that acute on the hips, but with the seat in the high position and the adaptive ride height that's on, I can pretty much flat foot it as well, with the seat in the high position. So that's fantastic. And you know what that gives you? The more important thing about that is that it gives you a nice seat to foot peg ratio. I found on my Tiger with the seat in the low position, it's too acute on the hips, for instance, and that's not the case with this bike with the seat in either position, so that's great. The engine sound off this is lovely. If you like a bit of popping on overrun and stuff like that, you'll like this bike too. I don't know, this one's got a Screaming Eagle exhaust pipe fitted. I don't know whether that contributes to it or not, or whether that's probably just Euro 5, you know. The tank's very slim compared to the Tiger. It's got these engine bars protecting the radiators. They're very nice. Okay, my screen's manual. That's a change, obviously. Switchgear seems nice enough. The bike doesn't feel top heavy, which I don't want to keep going back to the Tiger 1200, but that's the bike I currently own, so that's what I'm comparing it to, and it's the bike I just got off. I'm finding the seat comfortable at the moment. The trouble is, on a test drive, you're never really going to find out whether it's a very comfortable seat, because, you know, every seat's comfortable for an hour or two, aren't they? I like the brakes. I love the fact that they're linked. I'd always look for that on a bike. I don't think the engine is it doesn't like itself too much at a very slow speed by the look of it. Right, there's my adaptive ride height kicking in. And you see some of the other reviews, people saying I never noticed my adaptive ride height coming back up when I moved off from the junction. That's because it takes 20 to 30 seconds. So what it's not doing, there's not like an electric motor on there pumping it back up. What it's doing, it's relying on the shock, the undulations of the road. It's relying on the shock pumping itself back up, which is fine, which is great. So that's why you don't notice it, just in case you're wondering. It's not just like shooting back up as soon as you take off. I'll lower the screen there. It is bloody hot. The screen's nice, it's simple. You can probably declutter it a little bit. There's some stuff that I'm not interested in. Like, I don't care that the battery's at 14 volts. I care what my speed, my revs, my fuel gauge are really, and if there's any alarms, maybe a trip, the time. Well, 27 degrees now. So manually adjustable windscreen. The flop off it there is it's just all the connections in it and stuff like that, but that's also a good thing. You get a gust of wind. A lot of this is by design. You get a gust of wind and it blows the screen back. That's what they want it to do. They want it to blow the screen back like that rather than that be solid, because if it's solid you get it kicked in the bike. Well, Taylor hasn't half changed. There's a hotel around here somewhere, the Aberley Court Hotel, and that's where I had my wedding reception. But it's buried in all these buildings here somewhere now. Switchgear is dead easy to suss out. It really is easy. I'm going to change rider mode while I'm in town to just road, normal road. I was in sport there, and maybe sport, me being in sport mode, tootling around town, is making it a bit too frisky. Yeah, I think that's what it was actually. That's a bit smoother. Easy to find neutral. That's very nice. Bloody hell, it's roasting. I wouldn't like to compare this to another bike. Is it better or is it worse than another bike? Yeah, I wouldn't like to compare it to another bike. I saw an American dealer say, oh, we've got a GS Beta and all that sort of stuff. Oh, you just wish you wouldn't say stuff like that. It's its own bike. It's not trying to be a GS or beat a GS. It's its own bike with its own character. But you look at the service interval on this bike. It's changed the oil and filter, and then every other change the plugs. That's it. That is absolutely it. Okay, apart from the other things that a dealer would do, you know, check the bearings, check this, check that, and all that usual stuff, you know. But there's no valve adjustment. There's no big, I don't know, 600 to 1,000 euro service for valve adjustment. The valves are hydraulically adjusted. I might have said that wrong. The hydraulic valves, oh yeah, it's variable valve timing. So I guess what they're trying to do there is change the characteristics of the engine over the entire rev range. I haven't got a datum to measure that against, so you know, I couldn't tell you how effective or not that is. You can only just assume it is. I mean, I haven't really opened it up yet. It's nice around town. You can feel that steering damper. It makes you put a little bit more leverage on the bars. It requires a little bit more effort around town. Look, I'm talking micro effort here. I'm not talking I'm lugging this thing around. Oh, vibration wise, it's no more vibration than any other bike I've been on, to be honest. It's definitely no more vibration than my Triumph. Not that I can notice. I tell you what, it's not as refined as the Triumph, but that's not a criticism. It's not a criticism at all. The Triumph is a bit visceral when you wring its neck. When you're poodling along like this, the Triumph is actually a kitten. This feels like a bit of a tiger all the time, actually, with that engine noise. It's lovely. I'm feeling a bit of engine heat now the engine's fully warmed up. Look, I live in Ireland, so engine heat's never going to be a problem on this bike. Never, never, never. Okay, so that's my getting around town kind of traffic. That was easy enough. Yeah, you got a red light, mate. So round town, that was fine round town. Easy enough to get on with. If in the next incarnation of this screen if they could make the text a bit larger and make some of it optional. The real estate on the Tiger screen is smaller than that, but you can declutter it and take a load of crap off. I suspect you can take some of this off. I think there's something like widgets on this screen. Yeah, you can feel that steering damper. You have to get used to that, actually. She's just getting used to the indicators where they are on bikes when you hop off different bikes, isn't it? Yeah, there's some urgency about it. I'm not going to start talking about disc diameters. I always wonder when someone's sitting there going, yeah, and it has a 296mm disc on the rear and a 320mm disc on the... Who cares? Oh, a 320mm disc on the front. Oh yeah, I'm not buying it then. I was looking for a 326mm disc on the front. I'm glad you mentioned that in the test drive. You can be a sarcastic bastard sometimes, can't you? Yeah. Yes. Where we go? We'll go up to Emo. No, yeah, the petrol station. The Emo petrol station on the NE1 and head, yeah, around Hollywood Way and see if we can go for a coffee at the Cafe Alara. I might just have to go back into sport mode for this road. It depends how many cars there are. Hill hold. That hill hold lets go very, very nicely. Oh, I like that. That's didn't require too much effort to get over the hill hold. Which again on the Triumph needs a little bit to get out of the hill hold if you don't manually switch it off yourself. The clutch bite point on this bike, it's a cable clutch rather than hydraulic. It's very progressive, it's great. I actually didn't even think about it really, so that just shows it just kind of works. So okay, I changed it to sport mode there and it looks like it kind of goes into pending, and then I just backed off the throttle and it went into it. That's quite nice. That's quite easy change of rider modes. Easy change. That was very nice. Oh, the sound of this thing is bloody lovely. I wouldn't have minded trying it with a stock exhaust to see if you get the same sound out of it, because you'd think it must be, you know, Euro regs driving the noise output. Alright, how's this? Yeah, they don't mind all them bends. Oh, that would have been so nice if there'd been no cars there. Right, it's a sunny day. I know I'm in the shade here now, but what there is of the dash, it's very easy to see your speed and revs and stuff. I do think, though, I wonder whether you can declutter this and make the rest of the information bigger. You know, the writing is absolutely bloody tiny. I'm actually I just bought some varifocals to see how I can get on with them, because I'm finding it difficult to read the dash on my bike and then look ahead, because I'm normally short-sighted, and it's kind of doing the job. So maybe my varifocals will work on this. Wow, I sound like an old duffer talking about varifocals on motorbikes. Oh my god. But the tank has been topped off. It's fairly full. It's currently saying I've got a range of 322 kilometers. That's perfectly all right. Oh, someone answered my prayers.